Hello everyone, Vincent here. Yeah, that's right, the series isn't dead. I was just a little busy. But now I'm back. And you guys voted for it, so our second episode of Vincent Explains shall be my relation, the personalities, and things like that of cryptids. Now, here in the land of myth, we have great respect for the beings considered cryptids, as it's their job to make sure the land of myth stays hidden. Any place a cryptid is spotted also contains a way to get to the land of myths. Their main role is to scare off those who come a little too close to finding the portals, and when necessary, they will even... well, you can use your imagination. Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's dig in. My father, Bigfoot, is a member of the Sasquatches, a species of ape that used to live in the country of India, but then they fled upon the arrival of humans. At 10 feet tall, he's the second tallest of the remaining Sasquatches, only being beaten out by his older brother, but only by a single foot, he wants you to know. Now, he's famous for his giant feet, which is something he's actually quite sensitive about. He says when he was younger, other Sasquatches would tease him for them all the time. So remember, if you encounter him, don't bring this up unless you want your face to not be attached to your head. Bigfoot is also very knowledgeable about the forest, as he's one of the few beings capable of navigating the entirety of the enchanted woods without a map. But his permanent home is a nest he built under a large, shady tree. Now, Bigfoot is probably the most respected of all the cryptids, and thanks to his humble attitude and great performance on the fields, he's stationed in the northwest of the United States, and he's developed several strategies for throwing people off his trail. You see, he'll often hire members of human-like species like elves or munchkins and have them pretend to be Bigfoot experts who provide the public with false information about how to catch him. Like, they claim he's in areas he doesn't go, forging evidence to make his believers look stupid, and they claim he has a mating call, which Sasquatches don't do. That one doesn't have to do anything of throwing people off, he just does it because it's funny. The only real blemish he has on his record was an event in 1967 where he was actually caught on camera. This was the main driving force behind his disinformation campaign, and he refuses to let any incident like this happen again. So yeah, not as dumb as you probably thought he was. Love you, Dad. The Chupacabra is a pretty mysterious being. According to himself, he fell out of the sky one night on a meteor. This would imply he's extraterrestrial, but his species has never been found either in person or recorded in any other sapient species record. Doesn't really mind, though. He once told me that being a single individual makes him special, and he's quite proud of that fact. What is known about him is that he has a diet of blood, needing to drink at least 2 quarts of the stuff every day. He can get this thanks to his prehensile jaw, which can shoot out from his mouth and latch onto any creature unlucky enough to get in front of it. Now, technically, he can drink the blood of anything, but he likes goats best because, and I quote, goat blood just hits different. His words, not mine. He also possesses minor shape-shifting powers, in that he can change his form to resemble other animals, but it's only his body shape that changes. Still has the same piercing red eyes, pointy back spikes, and purple skin no matter what form he takes. He's primarily stationed on the island of Puerto Rico. He's pretty dedicated to his job, but he often gets distracted by goat farms. Because of his reckless consumption of livestock, he's a pretty unpopular cryptid, with many saying that one day he's gonna blow everyone's cover. But he doesn't really care what others think. He only looks out for number 1, baby. Again, his words, not mine. One last thing to note is that he's bilingual. He can speak fluent English and Spanish. Not that it matters, since here in the land of myths, everyone only hears others speak in their main language. But I guess that's useful in the human world. If he were to ever get captured. No. Mothman is an Actacean from the planet Atticus. He was brought to Earth as a caterpillar by complete accident in the early 1950s by astronaut F. Wu M. when his ship was struck by an asteroid and crashed in the U.S. state of West Virginia. They survived, but Caterpillar Man ended up escaping into the wild, where he spent the next 10 years feasting on the trees throughout the state. When he fully metamorphosized in 1967, he caused a lot of damage for the locals. You see, once they pupate, Actaceans have a diet of metal, and well, what's one substance most human stuff is made of? Yeah. This consisted in an incident where he ate so much of a bridge's support that it ended up collapsing. Mothman continued on after this, eventually finding his way to the land of myths where he got stationed in the area of West Virginia. But sadly, in the summer of 2003, a comet was falling towards the Earth, and while most creatures evacuated the area, he was drawn to the bright light, and, well, he got vaporized. R.I.P., buddy. We'll keep your memory alive, I promise. Nessie is one of the 2 remaining aqua dragons. Not to be confused with sea serpents, aqua dragons are exactly what they sound like. There used to be more of them, but they died out during a time known as the Great Freeze. Nessie only survived because she found a portal to the land of myths. Appearance-wise, she has a long neck, barrel-like body, and flippers topped with claws for amphibious movements. In fact, because of this appearance, she's often mistaken for a creature called the near lizard, but their similar appearances are just a coincidence. The 2 aren't related. Nessie is stationed in the Loch Ness in Scotland, where she has had a very successful run as a guardian. In fact, people weren't even aware of her until 1933, and even then she has had very few mishaps, and has remained almost entirely on the down low. When she's not guarding a portal, Nessie spends most of her time navigating the various lakes of the land of myths, feasting on fish or hanging out with her fellow lake monsters. In fact, Nessie's the one who taught me how to swim, so I'm grateful for that. You might have noticed I said only one of 2 remaining. The other is a reptile who survived against all odds and reached a land beyond the sea. Because of how lucky he was nicknamed Champ. So yeah, only 2 aqua dragons are left. All the other lake monsters are a different species, but that's okay. They get along well enough, it doesn't really matter. Mongolian deathworms are frightening little creatures that live in the deserts. These guys are the full package in terms of killing, which I guess makes sense considering their name. They have very sharp teeth, poisonous flesh so you can't eat them, and most importantly, they have the ability to fire bolts of electricity. Now, they have a diet mostly consisting of jackalopes and the occasional lost elf or goblin. Yeah. Now, you might be wondering where such a creature even came from in the first place. That was actually a mystery for the longest time, until a journal by a magician was discovered, and the contents of the book imply that he is the creator of the worms. Now, translating the most notable page from Mongolian, it reads, "We were wrong. So very, very wrong. We created these creatures to stop him before he could conquer anymore. But they overwhelmed us and escaped into the desert. Now there's only 2 of us left, and our plan to stop him has failed. I'm sorry." The next page is covered in blood. What happened to this person after writing? It's kind of a mystery, but let's be real. We all know what happened. Well, that closes the book on this mystery. Of cryptids, I mean. Yeah. See you guys next time when I explain the roles of other creatures in the land of myths. Or something like that. I don't know. Goodbye.